Hello. Suddenly, StreamYard decided to go crazy on me and not even run anything for. Let me see. Hello and good evening. We've got Samantha on the show. Hi, Samantha. Samantha is one of my ex-colleague, and it's nice to have you here. All right. Okay. Uh, Today I'm a bit ruffled. Don't know why, but anyways, welcome to the show, and this is episode 26. Let me quickly share the screen. I was kind of put off just now why it wasn't working, but we'll figure out. We'll make it work. There you go. All right. Today is the 12th of October, and this is episode 26. Good evening. My name is Andrew, and this is my weekly session where I spend about half an hour, maybe 20 minutes or so, and where I answer questions about email marketing. Jeremy, you've got a long questions for me. Okay, I'm going to answer it for you. I try as much as I can in the second question. Okay, so you hang in there, right? Okay, so a quick if you're new to me, what I do is I help businesses build deeper relationships with prospects and also their clients through the medium of emails. And the idea is once you've developed the relationship, selling becomes a lot more, generally speaking, selling becomes effortless, all right? Because you are not pitching your ware or your services to a cold audience. You're pitching to people who already know you, and they know you because you've been sending emails regularly. Basically, you're communicating regularly to your audience. All right. Okay. With that, if you want to be like Jeremy and another lady, Margaret, who submit their questions, you can do so. This is the QR code. You use your phone and you scan it. It will lead you to a simple Google form. And what it does is you just fill in your email and then fire off your questions, and I will answer your questions in the following week. Okay, cool. All right. What else do we have? Okay, if you want to use a link, basically go to my website ants.digital /ask Andrew anything. All right, both will still get you to the Google form. And if you want to connect with me on social media, I generally speaking spend most of my time on LinkedIn because that's where my audience hang out. And I do my regular posts on that social media platform as well. So if you want, you can follow me on LinkedIn. And you should, if you're in a B2B business, for example, or you want to connect to people, LinkedIn is a great platform for it. You just need to go to scan this QR code if you want, or go to ants.digital /LinkedIn. It is a short URL that will send you to my LinkedIn profile. Follow me if you like, or you can hit the bell button whenever to be notified whenever I make a new post. And finally, if you want to get some free marketing resources, I write regularly to my audience or my subscribers. You can get it from here. Just go to Ants Digital /free resources. You can decide whether you're in a B2B or B2C business and you want to basically hear my thoughts or read my thoughts about email marketing and the tactics or whatever it is that I do with my clients. I will share them there and it'll be useful. It's free. Okay. All right. So, first questions of the night. We have got two questions today. And so, by the way, if you want, I'm broadcasting this to my dear friend Jason's FB Ads Transformation Group. And if you're watching this, you can also basically put in your questions on the comment section. If you're on YouTube, you would be broadcasted to my YouTube channel. And what else? It's on LinkedIn and it's LinkedIn Live. Either way, all three platforms, you can just post your content and I should be able to pick it up from here in StreamYard and I will answer them if I can. And if it's too long or require a bit more, then I'll get back to you. All right. Okay. So, first question is from Margaret, and she's asking, why is Gmail clipping my emails? What is it? That's a mouthful, isn't it? Why is Gmail clipping my emails? Okay. Now, for some of you who may be new to this, let me show you an example. What does Margaret means by this? Okay, let me stop this screen and I'm going to share this to another screen. Can I share another window? Let me see. Um, yeah, is it this one? Nope. Wait, where's my screen? Where's my screen? Chrome tab. Oh, okay. There you go. All right. Okay. You can see this. So I did a search on the email because I subscribe to a lot of newsletters. I mean, that's what I do anyways. So if you look at one of these example, wait, where am I not showing this? Okay, maybe I should just run this one here because I can't see anything. Just a minute. It's a thing when you have too many screens. Where is my screen? There you go. Okay. Just hang in a minute. Ah, okay, cool. Right. So this is as in, any regular emails, you receive an email like this, and when you click on it, and if you want, this is an email from Net-a-Porter. It's an e-commerce email, and you'll notice here, this is what Margaret means by having a message or Gmail clipping a message. So generally speaking, Gmail and Yahoo Mail does that. Okay, and I'll explain to you some of the conditions why this will happen. So this is what she means by message clip. All right. So the entire message is not complete. So if you're in order for you to view the entire message, you then have to click to this. And okay, now I've got to show this because it's a new screen. So maybe I should share the window. Maybe it is better that way. There you go. Okay. So from here, when I click on this, it will then open up the entire email. So you notice now, Google or Gmail will clip until, let's say, start from here, Lulu Studio, right? And then the rest of them you don't see. And you see it until you will see it only if you click that. And this is the balance of the emails. Okay. Now, this is not good primarily because if somebody receives an email like this, and some of them may have a header at the top that allows them to unsubscribe, like here, that's fine. But there are certain marketing emails which you can only unsubscribe at the bottom. Now, because here it's clipped, you can't see anything, so you can't unsubscribe. So what you do, if you have an irate reader, he or she will likely report your email as spam, right? Because when you see this, you can actually unsubscribe from here. So there are options for them to unsubscribe, sorry. Okay. So how or why, what conditions where this sort of situation will happen. So let me quickly, before I do this, I'm going to switch back and so that I can write something on my, wait, just a minute. I can actually do that. There you go. I can actually do this. Okay. So Gmail and Yahoo Mail generally put a cap on any email size must be less than 102 kilobytes. Okay. Now you may think that in this case, the reason why Net-a-Porter gets, clipped is because of too many images. All right. So let me share this again. So you may probably see this is a situation. Oops, why am I not showing? Okay, let me do this. Let me try and do it such a way that you can actually see the entire screen. Okay, now I can switch. All right. So you notice that Net-a-Porter has 1, 2, 3, 4, 16 images. Right. This is one of the contributing factor. Right. One is you have too many images. And the second thing is you notice the structure, you have a lot of columns, right? So a lot of columns here in this particular email. So it's a very complicated email. Now, how do you know or whether your email is less than 102 kilobytes? So what you need to do is when you see your email from here, let's say here, okay. So I'm using Gmail, and generally speaking, each one of the email so-called reader would have this feature. You just need to find it, right? So what you need to do is you click on these three buttons, right? and look at download message. So what you're doing is you're downloading the entire email, all right? So when you download this entire email, and when you open it, in my case, let's say Show and Finder, this is the email that I downloaded. The size is 168 KB. That is why it is clipped, because it actually breached the 102 KB threshold. Okay. So to avoid this, what you can do is this, right? Keep your email simple. That means if you want to do an e-commerce, primarily if you're just using like what I do, normally I send email in just pure text, for example, that's fine. It's very unlikely that you're going to hit that 102 KB. But if you do e-commerce email, for example, you notice that you need to reduce the number of columns, right? This will add to the size, because all these email are made out of HTML codes, all right? So if you look at, let's see here, you notice? So whenever new columns are being added, for example, the entire code gets longer, it gets complicated. Okay, so that's why this will contribute to the size of your email. Now, you may assume that, hey, just because NetReporter may use a lot of pictures, the images itself, the size of the images itself do not get included in the calculation of 102 KB, because these images are being pulled. Let's say, for example, this as images. These images are being pulled from another server. Okay? My daughter is right behind me. Okay, that's the hassle of, okay, not the hassle, that's the hazard of working from home. All right. So it gets pulled from the server, so it's not calculated inside. But the number of images that you have on the email itself, because it takes up columns, take up space, right? Those are the ones, because you need a code to render the column in order to pull up the images. Those are the ones that adds on to the size of your emails, right? If, for example, what would affect, for example, let's say you have an image, what would affect, in this case, the email itself is if your image size is too big, all right? Let's say you render a PNG, which is, let's say, about 300 KB. What will happen is when you load that email, it will affect the loading time. Okay, it will not affect the size of your, it will not affect the size of your email, but it will affect the loading time. Okay, so the solution is, first is to keep it simple. All right, try not to add too many columns or too many rows. Okay, so let's look at some examples. For example, like this. Which does, okay, even New York Times. Let's see, look at New York Times. Okay, this is not clip. What else is clip? Mostly NetReporter. What else? I've got a few. How about this one? Does it clip? Okay, that's right. Okay, so here you look at it's mostly text, but you still have images, that's fine. But you have stuff like this. These are the ones actually made out of columns, right? And then it is obviously like this. This is actually a 2-column email. Okay, so you have 1 column for the image, 1 column for the text, right? You see? So it's multiple column, and then it's run into multiple rows because it's all the way down straight. So this is 2-column emails. That's why it is clipped. And if you want to check the size, same thing. So we just go to download the message, and let's see. There you go. 186 KB. Okay, there you go. So that's why the email is being clipped by Gmail in this case, and Yahoo does the same thing as well. Okay, so Margaret, I hope I've given you enough some tips that you can do. Maybe just to do a quick recap. Let me clear this first. Okay, let me do a quick recap. in order for you to avoid your emails from being clipped by Gmail, which is not good for your deliverability in the long run, number one is you got to keep your email design simple. Okay, so either you have only basically multiple rows, but you got to limit the number of columns. Okay. Number two, if you're writing emails, for example, in my case, I write on Notepad in text editor, and then I'll just transfer it to my email platform. Or sometimes I just write directly from my email platform. But in your case, if you write it on a Word document, okay, especially Word document, and just copy and paste it directly to your what, you need to be, because this Word document has a lot of what you call HTML. It introduces a lot of HTML codes which is unnecessary, which will then make your emails bloated, which will then increases the size of your email, which will then cause Gmail to clip your emails, right? Number three is the number of images. Not the size of the image, but the number of images. So if you have, let's say, an email consisting of, let's say, 20 images, and because you need to make it look nice, you probably put it into columns or multiple rows, for example. This will be contributing to the increase of your email size, not the size of the image. Remember, the image is being served or being pulled from another server, so it doesn't affect the size. It will only affect the loading time, right? But generally speaking, when you have too many images, then because of the structure of your email, that's the one that contributes to your email size being bloated, right? So and then for what you can do is whenever you prepare this email and you're not sure, then you can always send a test email to yourself, all right, or some test account, for example, and you look at it. You have one test account in Gmail, one in Yahoo, one in Outlook, for example. You send it to these 3 emails, and then you look at it whether it's clipped or not. And then from there, once you receive the email, especially in Gmail, you just need to go to, let me show you this again. You just need to go to these 3 dots and download this message. Then it will tell you basically the size of your email. As long as it is less than 102 KB, very likely that your email will be very safe. Okay, clear? All right, so let's move on. Shall I show you another example? Okay, let me show you another example of this. Why, if your image is big or you have, let me see. I always like this, the email. Let me see. Right. This is pretty cool. Where is it? Here you go. Right. Now, you look at email like this. Okay, can you see? So this one has a lot of high-res or so-called high-res images, right? And yet, it is not clipped. Now, why is that so? So if you look at the size of this particular email, and let's see, it's only 96K, right? Compared to the other one, which has a lot of text, but it's still 186. What they did is they optimized the email to be as simple. So basically, this is one single image. You notice? It's not 4 images, it's one single image, right? And it's basically 2 rows. It's done in rows, right? Except this. And this is served basically from the ESP itself, right? You notice? Okay, this is how you see. For example, an image like this, this image is a single image, right? And it's optimized. That means they actually optimize the image to look good at the same time, compress the image to look good at the same time the size is small. So that's why it does not does not affect the loading time of this email. So it is possible for you to have beautifully done email, but at the same time, not have Gmail clipping it, right? The trick is basically to design your email. Although here it looks complicated, but generally it's just rows. And this is just a single image and not multiple or 4 images combined together. All right, cool. Okay, I hope it's a bit technical, but wait till you see the next question. All right. Let me see. What do I have here? Sarah, I am using Outlook to open my emails, and sometimes when I have a WhatsApp tab open while browsing, my chat is sent to everyone in my contact. I have no idea, Sarah. I seldom use Outlook for my own emails. I normally use Gmail. But when you have a WhatsApp tab open while browsing, your chat is sent to everyone in your contact in Outlook. You got to check how you set up your WhatsApp. Then I guess when you reply, either you are doing it in a group or something. But I'm sorry, Sarah, I no idea. This is new to me. All right. Um, just be very careful who you send. Check first before you send, I guess. All right, cool. So this is a rather complicated question from Jeremy, and I will attempt to answer it. Can you demonstrate step by step, specifically, how to create a campaign in an email marketing service? He is using Aweber, which I don't have an account, all right? But if you're using another service, it's fine too, and there are many tips to make it effective. Okay, Jeremy, I'm not going to give you, probably it's going to take a couple hours to actually do the whole process, but I'm going to give you some guides and you can then explore, right? So the first thing is in all email platforms, generally you have two major ones, major categories. It may be slightly different names, but generally it's this campaigns and automation. All right. I'm not sure what Aweber users call it, but generally speaking, campaigns and automations, these are the two major components of an email marketing and delivery marketing service, or ESP. And the difference is for campaign is it allows you to send your emails anytime. Right? So basically you craft your email and then you decide when you want to send. You want to send it now, you want to schedule it and those things. It is basically controlled by you when this email goes out. Whereas in automation, it is normally caused or basically activated by certain triggers. For example, if somebody joins the list, all right, or somebody subscribed to your list, okay, then it will trigger a series of emails as long as you create it to be sent out. Or let's say somebody makes a purchase if you're an e-commerce site, right? And you can then trigger an email, thank you email, for example, a delivery email and all those things. Or let's say they added stuff to cart, all right? But they do not continue with the purchase. So what you have is your sequence of cart abandonment, right? And you can then send a series of emails to remind them to go back to their cart and to complete the purchase. Okay, so you notice one is caused by trigger. In this case, this trigger can happen anytime, 24/7, because it is done by the recipient. It's caused by the recipient, right? Whereas here it's caused by the sender. The sender would decide, if I want to send an email now, I'll just type my email and I send it out. And I decide which segment of audience or which target audience I want to send it to. Whereas in here, the recipient's action will then trigger the series of emails which you designed to write. So campaigns and automation, these are the two key differences. Now, if you want to ask me to create a step-by-step, okay, I don't know what happened today to my MailerLite. It's not responding, so I'm going to skip. I'm going to use, let's say, MailChimp, and I'm going to also attempt to try this. This is my good friend Tano runs, and his team. Smiley is one of the largest ESPs in Estonia. And I'm going to try to do both to give you an example, right? But generally speaking, if you look at MailChimp or Smiley, it's almost the same with Aweber. So you have two things, campaign and automation, right? So if you want to create a campaign, first, obviously, you need the subscribers, right, to have. Then you have, from email, and then you can add your subject. So if you put your subject, and most cases, some of them now would have the preview text, right? So I can just type the subject, preview text, I can save this, and then I can design my email, right? So this is with regards to creating a campaign. So in most ESPs now, especially, Aweber included, they will have all these features, okay? This is almost like, creating websites now. You will have all these features that allows you to design your email. So if you want, let's say with logo, for example, and with images, for example, you can do that. So you just add the images from whatever so-called storage that you may have. Or if you want to just use text, you can always remove them. So generally, it is the same with Aweber. The interface may be slightly different, but you have the view your browser here, and then you can add logo and you can add text, right? So in Gmail's case, they are adding text by basically allowing you to typing directly into. Hey, my spelling. Okay. Right, so you type directly here, okay? And then you can add button text. When you add a button text, obviously you need to link to a particular web address, all right? And once you're done with this, you can basically click on continue. And the next thing they will ask, obviously, would be, okay, let's say the content is done. Who are your audience, all right? So in this case, referral upgrade, okay, fine. Why is this not? Okay, what's wrong? Okay, so I'm supposed to add some stuff to make it look like legit. Okay, I'm going to remove stuff instead, okay? Okay, let's see whether this works or not. I'm going to remove some of this, okay? You know what? You guys are not seeing it because, wait, because I'm not sharing the screen. Wait, just a minute. Today is a bit, okay. So let's do this. Let's move this here. Okay. Yes, Jeremy, I noticed that. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do now. All right. So, like I said, you basically in all campaigns, you have who do you want to send to. So you have to decide who your audience are, your from name, and then you have your content, right? So in this case, add a referral page, remove placeholder content. Okay, so let's say now, just okay. So when you create your email, all ESPs now would have these features that you can add layout, you can add a divider, for example. It's almost like designing your websites. What else? Anything that they have? Okay, let's see whether I can continue with this. Can you see it? Okay, you can see it. Add button text. Oh gosh, this is so complicated. I don't need this. Okay. Does this one work? Please make it work. Deliver, what else? Oh, one image. Where is one image? Where is an image? Okay, okay, let's add a logo. No, I'm not going to use a logo. Okay, how about this? I'm not going to use this as well. All right, I think this should work. Oh my goodness. What else is missing? Okay. It's a demo. Sorry. Yeah. It should work this time. Okay, there you go. Right. So once you have done that, next thing is you want to schedule. Right. So in all campaigns, remember campaigns is triggered by the sender. So you can decide either to send it now, okay, or you can basically, in this case, it's a free account. So obviously they don't allow me, if I want to send a specific time, I need to upgrade to essentials. Okay. So you can either send it now or you can schedule to send like tomorrow at what time and all those things. So all ESPs will have this feature. Okay. And let's look at Smiley, for example. So similarly in Smiley, campaigns automations, they have templates, subscribers, and landing pages, right? So these are the, these are the pretty standard stuff in all ESP. So let's say I want to create a new campaign. So in their case, they will have newsletter. You can do an A/B split campaign. Basically having two set of emails sent to two different set of audience because you want to test your emails and see which one is more effective, either the subject line or either your content, for example. So that's why you call an A/B split. So now I just want to create a simple newsletter. So obviously, as in any case, you would have the subject that you have to key in, and then you have the sender address, and then you continue. Now, in smaller case, they will require you to create a template. So I've just created a simple template like this. Okay, and then I will select. Okay, in the templates, let's look at what this one means. So here this is a template, right? So I have the text, for example, similarly like what you see in MailChimp, you have all these features that you can increase the text or change the fonts, for example, make it bigger, or you can change the color of your fonts if you want to, or you can basically underline the colors of the links. You can make certain fonts bold. So all this is similar. If you know how to use words, generally you would be able to do this, right? So this kind of straightforward. So once this is done, and then you then obviously schedule to your subscribers, right? And then, okay, let's pick one. Okay, continue. And then what you need to do is you can basically from here, subject, templates, delivery time, you can start immediately or you can schedule for later. All right. So similar like what you see in MailChimp, you can send immediately or you can schedule. So this is what you call a campaign. Very straightforward. Pick the audience, write your email, and then decide when you want to send. All right. Okay, Jeremy. So this is how you do, and it is similar, and I'm pretty sure it will be similar to Aweber. Maybe something different is maybe when you do automations, right? And let's show you how an automation looks like. Okay, I'm not going to run through this, but I'm just going to give you an idea. So, for example, in MailChimp, they have an automation. Southern has preview templates. So what you do is, remember, where is okay, let's see, use this journey. Okay. So this is how an automation journey looks like, right? So it is a trigger. What trigger is somebody signs up to, let's say, this account called Email Guy. And then you then create send email number one, right? So then what you do is you craft your email for number one, okay? And then you wait, maybe you can create a delay or 1 or 2 days, then send email number two. So generally speaking, this is how an email automation will look like. Then you can have like, for example, if else, right? Where if the subscriber clicks a particular link, for example, then you can send another email. If the subscriber, let's say, does not click on a particular link which you've defined, then you send another email. So you can actually, through automation, you can actually build the entire sequence from here. And all this will only trigger if somebody, in this case, joins or signs up for, let's say, my list, right? The Email Guy list, for example. And this would basically move. Okay. So, yeah. Today's session is a bit more technical. Jeremy, I hope I've answered your questions. And if any one of you, have any different type of ESPs, remember all of them will have campaigns and automation by default, right? And campaigns is something that you as a sender decide when you want to send, who you want to send, and how you want to send it. Okay. Automation, you create beforehand a series of emails, and it will only be sent when it's triggered by any conditions that you set. For example, somebody joins a list, somebody buys something, or somebody abandons a cart, for example, and you then basically trigger. So when you create emails, you then have to decide if you, let me see. If you have something urgent and there is a specific time, for example, let's say you're doing a launch tomorrow and you're going to close the launch on, let's say, Sunday, then most cases you would start to do campaigns. You should write emails campaigns, right? And not automation, because automation can run anytime. But if you have something that is basically not time sensitive, and it is basically quite, you can anticipate the response of your readers, and it is evergreen. Then you can automate the process through automation. Okay, so generally these are the two ways of doing it. Okay, all right. Jeremy, you are most welcome. I hope I've answered your questions. And if any one of you find this complicated, you can put in the comments. So I've not seen anything yet, but there you go. So promotion time, quick one. Now you notice emails is only one component of the entire marketing channel. All right. In order for you to run a proper sales campaign, right? Not an email campaign, but a proper sales campaign, you need a combination of emails, you need a combination of ads, you need a combination of a landing page or landing pages, because you need to convert people on those pages, for example, irrespective whether you convert people on Zoom or you convert people on a one-to-one call, you need a place to explain and give them the benefit of why they should take the particular action that you want them to take, right? So that's why the purpose of the landing page. Now, in order to put all this together to basically to allow it to run seamlessly, you then need to create a campaign comprising of these three components. All right. So what I'm offering is basically a one campaign challenge whereby I will work with you on, you pick one particular product or offer or service, and to actually create the entire campaign from ads, writing the copy, writing the emails. Remember, we use campaigns and automations, and to the point of even doing the landing pages or writing the landing pages. And if you have designers to do it, great. And if not, then we will have to basically figure out different landing pages tools that we can use to build this. The idea is to have a seamless from A to Z campaign, specifically one campaign for you to actually run and to basically help you generate results as soon as possible. Okay, there are many moving parts to this, and that's why I'm personally taking charge to help you create this. And if you're interested, all you need to do is go to onechallenge.ansdigital.com. This is another one of my landing pages site, and you can fill in. We're going to have schedule a call. I'm going to discuss with you. We're going to brainstorm. No obligation. I'm not going to pitch you anything. Basically, I just want to understand your situation. And if I can help you, great. Then we can move to the next step. If not, then I will give you some resources that could probably help you to move along. All right. Either way, no obligations. And if you need somebody to help your campaigns, do that. Go to onechallenge.ansdigital.com, and it would have basically, that's a landing page. It will explain to you how it works, and we can go on from there. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a fun and crazy Wednesday session. I hope I've answered all your questions. So if you have any questions and you find that this is really useful, go to here. Okay, there you go. Ask Andrew anything. Fill up the Google form with the questions like what Jeremy and Magra has done, and I will then answer you in the following week. All right? So Andrew Wong signing off. Thank you so much. Have a great evening ahead, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.